Let's call this meeting to order.
Dear Heavenly Father, please let us all be mindful of our blessings and grateful for the opportunity to give us every single day. Please guide this board and direct us to make the best decisions possible. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Vernon. Here. Alderman Phillips. Here. Alderman Weaver. Here. Alderman Crockett. Alderman Walker.
Here.
Alderman Blair. Alderman Benjamin. Here. City Administrator Asbury.
Here.
City Attorney Winfrey. City Clerk Kenny here. Mayor Vernon, you have a quorum.
Sir. Consent agenda items, you should have 2 committee reports and meetings from the last minute. Questions? Concerns?
Make a motion to approve the minutes and pay the bills.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Woody, you're up.
Okay, this is usually the hard part. You guys kind of glaze over on me, so stop me if I go too fast. I'm Wendy Rimmer. I'm with Everson County CPAs. I'm a partner there. You invited us in to do your 2022 audit, and it is complete. We issued it today, and I'm going to present it to you today. So I'm going to start with the first couple of pages. Pages 1 through 3 are the actual opinion letter in this report. You invited us in, so we're independent of your financial statements. The first 2 paragraphs give you the opinions on the financial statements. It tells you that we audited the accompanying financial statements of the government activities, the business type activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information for the year ended December 31st, 2022. In addition, we audited the related notes to the financial statements, which is comprises City of Eldon's basic financial statements. So the next paragraph is our actual opinion on the financial statements, and we have concluded that the above financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects, meaning that it is a clean opinion. It took a minute to get there, but it is a clean opinion. Basis for the opinion tells you that we audited in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards. The responsibilities of management for the financial statements. So Mandy and Trevor took responsibility for the financial statements in a management representation letter that they provided me, so I could issue the audit. Going over to page 2, you see my responsibilities for the financial statements, the audit of the financial statements. It tells you that how I did the audit, the objectives of the audits. It tells you that in accordance with the generally accepted audit standards, that I exercise professional judgment, identify and assess risks of material misstatement, obtain an understanding of your internal control over the financial statements, evaluate the appropriateness of accounting principles and policies, and conclude that there are conditions that the government will continue as a going concern. On page 3, it tells you what we did not audit. So in this report that you are going to be looking at tonight, we have the management discussion and analysis. We have the analysis of schedules of changes of net position liability and related ratios in accordance with your pension plan, and then the budgetary comparison information. Those are required supplementary information, but we did not audit it and we do not opine on those. So, the first few pages 4 through pages 12, this is the management's discussion and analysis. To be quite honest with you, if I were going to read any part of this report, this is the part that I would read. It's going to give you a breakdown of everything in the remaining pages. Okay? So if I were a lay person that didn't love to read this kind of information, these are the pages that I would read. But we didn't opine on it, so I'm going to move on. We have the basic financial statements, starting on page 13. We have actually two sets of financial statements. We have the government-wide financial statements and we have the fund financial statements. The government-wide financial statements are all full accrual. So you've got your government activities and business activities. So you're gonna see all of your fixed assets, all of the debt, everything is going to be in this financial statement. Government activities are generally presented under the modified basis, modified accrual basis of financial statements for the fund, but full accrual when we come here. So on page 16 or 15, we start with the fund financial statements. So you have a balance sheet, a reconciliation, and a statement of expenditures and changes in fund balance, and then also a reconciliation. So that's gonna get you, those reconciliations get you from the modified fund financial statements to the full accrual financial statements. So those are those pages. Then we have your proprietary funds, which is going to be your water and wastewater. This is your business type activities. And now these are gonna always be, this is your charges for service. So they're not supported by taxes or anything like that. So pages 19 through 22 is going to be just your water, wastewater, enterprise funds, and also proprietary funds or business type activities. So you're gonna have all of those three terms interchangeably. And then the rest, the other fund financial statements that I talked about when I talked about our opinion, is your cemetery endowment fund. This is a fiduciary activity that you are holding and trust the funds that are collected for the endowment. From page 25 through page 54, these are the notes to the financial statements. What they're going to do is talk about some of the numbers that are in the financial statements, give you the basic policies of the city, and differentiate between and explain what government-wide means, what the fund financial statements mean. And I already explained that to you, so we're not going to go through all that. If I were going to look at these financial statements and these notes, I think the best notes are going to be the ones that talk about your fixed assets, which is going to be called capital assets, and that's on page 39 and 40. And then also your long-term debt financial statement, or long-term debt notes, which are from page 41 through 45. And then you have note 7, which is your retirement plan. This is your loggers. Loggers is what is actuarially stated, so you're going to see lots of variances as they go because the actuary actually dictates those estimates for the financial statements. About 10 years ago, they started being put on the financial statements. Before that time, retirement plans were not on the financial statements. So you see a lot of volatility with that. Again, those are accruals. You're going to see it on the full accrual government-wide. You're going to see it on the business type, wastewater, water. But on the fund financial statements, you're not going to see it because those are long-term liabilities. And then you have the required supplementary information. Again, we did not audit it. When we look at it, we compare it, we check for variances, but we do not opine on pages 55 through 64. That is an overview, very high-level overview, but places for you to go look when you take this home for some easy reading tonight or today. Any questions?
Doesn't sound like it.
I went fast. I might let you know. You had some inspired conversations between me.
Perfect. I'll look at it.
question I would have is obviously this was a clean audit, but we're still really behind, so what's the timeline for the next one?
Well, I have to get an approved engagement. So, I mean, I'm just gonna be bringing that to you in the next session, next month.
26th is when we put it together, we have it on the
26th, yeah.
26th.
Okay. She'll bring that to you on the 26th. We've already, planned out 23 and 24. And we'll hope to have 24 finished by the end of 26. And then work on 25. Hopefully, this time next year, I'm hoping to have 23 and 24 in front of you. Or at least 24 by that time. Depends on how it goes. Nandy was kind of pushed into this, and she didn't have a whole lot of experience when we started it. It took a long time to get some of the information. We run into limited time. When we come out, we only have a certain amount of time. If we don't get everything done then, we run into our busy season that other things come before you, so.
So you all know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are talking about doing 23 and 24 together.
Simultaneous.
So that should go
I will
faster.
issue at 23 because we will have to have those numbers into the system before we do 24. We still had in 22, 52 pages of adjusting journal entries. Hope in 23, I mean, if we didn't have 52 pages of journal entries, then it would go a lot faster, and I'm hoping it will go a lot faster.
So 23 and 24 by the end of next year,
Mhm.
so 25 would be done for 27.
25, I think we can get it started, but I don't know if I can get that in there. I can't do the 3 in a row. I don't have enough time between now and the end of the year, and then between April and the end of the year to do the 3 audits, 3 city audits.
And is there a concern that we're gonna lose out on grant money until we can get these done?
So I think we're gonna get one more year, and then we should be able to start applying again. I think there's like a year gap there. So I think we can get it next year, by the end of this year or the start of next year, we should be good.
23 and
So-
24 are the biggest keys in getting those done.
Yeah.
And that's why it's great that we're doing them together, because it'll make the process go by faster, and then we'll be able to start seeing it.
But we still have to do our audit procedures for 23 and for 24.
Right,
So-
I understand, I work with federal audits all the time, this is a long time frame. Mostly it's typically this one.
You're exactly right. And in the accounting field, it's tough to get audits.
And our responsibility to do one of these.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know.
Any other questions? Thanks. See you later.
Yep.
Hopefully see
Appreciate
soon.
you.
Old business, I don't think we have any old business. Other citizens. Go first. Okay. Come on up.
Hello, Brooke.
Hello.
My name's Taylor. Awesome. So we're with a brokerage out of Springfield called Axios Group. We understand that you do have a broker for health. We are actually brokers that specialize in the supplemental field, especially when it comes to municipalities such as counties, cities, fire districts, and also ambulance districts. Talking with David, we learned a lot in the past 2 weeks about what you guys kind of currently offer. We actually did come from those representative spaces, but we do not represent one company, one product. We actually represent over 78 different carriers. And we did our due diligence while coming in. We actually took y'all's SIC code, which is 9199, government official buildings. And we actually ran it against all 78 carriers that we had. And found out that combined is the best fit. With that being said, the main goal coming in and talking stuff like that is to basically consolidate the 3 carriers that you have currently while reducing the price and elevating all coverage around.
Yeah, I want to piggyback just a little bit and ensure what we're talking about is voluntary benefits for your city employees, right? So we're talking about the supplemental space. It sounds like you guys have done your due diligence and allowed a broker to consolidate. They've earned your business to consolidate those major medicals. We don't, if we say, if it ain't fixed, or if it ain't broken, don't fix it. We supplement, we specialize in that supplemental space, and so I wanna make sure that's very clear. What we're talking about is no, no burden on the budget. We're not talking about anything pay out of the budget for the city. And it's also, voluntary, for payroll deduction for the employees, and then there's no contract. Okay, so it's not like it's a binding situation where you're entering a contract with us. If for some reason you guys don't like what we have, Austin mentioned that we have already done our due diligence. We found a carrier that is something more specific. I want to talk about that standardized industrial classification, that's that SIC code. And why that is such a big factor is because that helps separate your employees from everybody lumped into one program. So for example, the 3 carriers that you guys are currently offering, they're gonna tell you that that's the best in the business. And I don't want to disparage anybody, nobody should get ahead by disparaging anybody. They probably do have that best product in mind, however, that's the best they can offer. And so what they're saying is that's treating the government employees the same as they would a mechanic shop, or a glass shop, or a vet clinic. And so there's no customization, there's no tailor-made package for you. So what we're talking about is finding plans like life insurance that can help cover not just employees, but employees' families. Or short-term disability plans that don't change because one person is in the police department, or one person's in the public works department, or somebody's sitting in the administration office, right? So those things those rates aren't fluctuating because of that. It's a standardized across the board. Or maybe we're talking about critical illness policies that are separated, and you're paying multiple policies for a cancer, for maybe a cancer endurance, maybe there's a cancer plus, and we're talking about consolidating. When my colleague Austin talks about consolidating those things, we're maybe bringing those together so it is more beneficial for you as an employer of those folks. I want to commend you guys because David let us know that you offer everybody the opportunity to come here and speak so that there's like an equitable pitch for having different spaces for the employees and different benefits, or if you're wanting to discuss something for the city. And so I commend you for that because I think that's a fair and appropriate way to handle that business. I also want you to know that what you would be inviting into your city to help somebody. I heard you guys pray before you open, and I think that's such an amazing thing. It's a dying art. It's a dying way to demonstrate faith, and it's such a great way that we can open it. I want you to know what you're allowing also to help your city employees is a faith-based organization. We pray before our meetings. We let God decide what we're going to say, how we're going to operate, and we absolutely are faith-based principles as well. And I want you guys to know that that's what you're letting discuss benefits with your employees.
Absolutely. And all we're asking here today is to have your blessing to be able to work alongside David and Randy to be able to come in and consolidate for you and reduce the prices for you.
So right now, we don't have a contract with anyone else, is that correct?
I believe they're all just talk to the employees. The only one I don't know for certain is I have to look into that, but I don't believe they are. They just set up with the employees. As long as we have at least 3 employees, they're signed up for each one, and I'll kind of have a blanket thing where everybody gets like.
So our minimum is 3, but one thing that sets us apart from a lot of companies in the Midwest is the GI portion. Yes, representative companies can be GI, but that's guaranteed policy, not guaranteed rates. We're actually allowed to be across the board guaranteed policy and rates at the same time. So as long as 3 participate, that means the rest of your family is basically guaranteed all the way through and through.
You know, we have Aflac for supplemental health, and then we have Globe Life in Cincinnati for life insurance.
So what happens to the other companies that we're currently using?
We don't tell people, we don't force people to change if they don't want it. But we're confident that when we bring the value back, as I was discussing each of those policies, we would ask and sit down with those employees, what is it that they have currently that they like about that? And our goal is to make sure that whatever coverage it is that they're talking about, they don't lose anything, that they're added more value. So to answer your question, what happens to those is they can choose to keep them, or they can move away from that into the new carrier. Now, we do, like we said, we do have something ready, it's 44 pages, depending on who you ask, it may or may be less riveting than the audit, I'm not sure, depending on your take on insurance, but the whole thing of the matter is, that's our goal, is to essentially wrap that up into one bill, so that your payroll folks don't also have to be shipping those out multiple. But again, we don't force anybody to change. If they have something that they really like about that particular policy, then of course they can.
So I'm assuming that you guys don't do this for free, so how is it that you are able to reduce the employee's cost for insurance as well as get paid?
Absolutely, so you don't, let me be very clear, you don't pay us.
Yeah, you don't pay us.
We're consultants, because we find specific needs, but you guys don't pay us. And we obviously get paid through the carriers, depending on, like you said, we have about 70 carriers that we can write for. But the way that we reduce costs or elevate the value of what they're having is by sending out a defined plan that would either, like, let's say, if they're on an accident plan, that they need to reduce that cost, and we can either cut those, I don't wanna, it's not proper to say that it's gonna be cheaper. Nobody should want cheap items, they should want things of value. And so what we do is we add that value to whatever it is they're paying, or if it's a similar coverage, then that can go down in the rates for them.
And another thing is, we're in a competitive space, so we're allowed to actually use our points as brokers to actually lower rates. So we can either match the rates you currently have, or we can actually go below those rates, taking points off our end.
Thoughts, board, or mull it over for a week, two? Let you look back at our contract, make sure.
I know what the life insurance one went up, because we got 2 different life insurance companies right now. Cincinnati,
Right.
Local Life. After I got to double check, but hopefully that's the actual contract, how much.
That's what's in our contract.
I'd like to see how many our employees are actually taking advantage of these
I know
companies.
Local Life had a really good turnout last year, and they're currently in their enrollment period right now, and so far they've had pretty good turnout.
I mean, we don't have contact with any of these people.
And so they just kind of open enrollment for these.
So, I mean, what would be the benefit of winning the pitch now?
We've got any contract with anybody that where it says we won't bring in another broker, that would be the only thing. And I would want David just to look over that, just to make sure with the other life insurance, I don't know why we had ever done that. And basically, we just got to set up time for these guys to come in and talk to our employees, just sit down and do it. But I don't have a problem with this there, as long as he does a little more research, just to make sure we don't have anything
No,
weird
I
in
mean,
there.
in the interest of time and their time and our time, if David doesn't find anything, could we make a motion that if David doesn't find anything, finding that he can contact them and get the ball rolling?
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
That motion?
Yes.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
See you guys some more.
See you all soon. Thank you.
Take care. Good job. Next. If not,
I'll go.
okay. Well, we've got you,
Going once?
Sisto, we've got you.
No, we have him for the one, because the
One,
one,
two?
yes, because he had 2 issues, he wanted to get moved on planning and zoning to the lot split. So, but the variance can go through for that, but you wanna still talk to the board to see if they can try and allow that for the planning. and
Yes,
zoning?
get it, Mike, go for it. Go ahead. Yes, come on. So, we've gotten one as an ordinance on there already.
Yes, we have the one to allow the 2 households on one lot on there as an ordinance.
As an ordinance,
Planning and zoning did not approve cutting a lot that small, so they have to give a variance of lot size before you go to planning and zoning to see if they will split the lot.
Yeah, that makes sense to everybody. Yes, yes, okay.
which, and as last night, I appreciate everybody's time, I really do. But that's how the property was purchased initially, so I'm not sure that, the variance was a deal, a big deal. But of course, splitting the property is what I'm after. I mean, hopefully down the road, if you guys were to approve it, that wouldn't be an issue, David, but if I were able to sell them both as one, that issue goes away, as I understand it, and we could sell 2 homes. on one lot. But when I bought the property, which is really here or there, you know, there were two addresses, but I knew it was one property when I purchased it. So basically what I'm asking is to separate the two homes into two lots. And if I do that, it makes the one lot very small. And that's what I'm asking for your consideration.
And the one house is below codes on size too, isn't it?
That's about 600 square feet.
I thought
It's a little
it was
small.
750.
Yeah.
But it's existing, right?
But it was existing.
Same footprint, just improved it, it was falling down eyesore, and he just rebuilt both of the properties. He's got the pictures in there, they look a lot better.
It looked really nice.
Lot size would take way below variance, and so would the actual size of the house. Variance board, that's what they were concerned about, is if we open it up and allow them, that we have other people trying to do the same thing with little houses and little lots. That's why they didn't want to pass the variance, they want such a variance.
Was there concern that someone would build a small house on one lot and then they would come and ask to split because there were two homes on that lot?
Yes, they would just kind of open it up, just don't take an outbuilding, kind of refit it, and then well, now it's two lots. But this one was already originally two addresses when he bought it, it's got all water, sewer.
On meter? It's got its
Yeah.
own meter already.
They're two separate.
Absolutely.
You rebuilt on the same footprint, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the small one, 421, which we're discussing, that lot would, if, you know, you were to allow it, that lot would probably only be 50 by 50. But it was existing when, and the reason I did not tear it down was because it did have the address, it had meters, it had electric, had a kitchen in it, had a bathroom, and, actually the realtor recommended I turn it into a garage. But my wife wanted to make it a residence. I mean, she's all about improving the community. And so I said, let's make it a residence. Our initial intention would be somebody would purchase the property, live in one home, and either put a elderly parent or a kid that won't go away, or you know, could make it a rental. You could live in either one and rent the other one if you wanted to. And to be quite honest, I've got a lot of money invested in both those homes. And at that price point, it's just sitting there. So I mean, basically it comes down to, you know, does the city want 2 more rentals, or do we want to sell a couple of residences? You know, I would personally, of course, like to sell them. I do own other rental homes here in town, and I think you guys probably know they're nice homes. You know, I live in any of them. The other thing that we do is I own 4 different homes on Mill Street and Maple Street. I don't have a rent higher than $650. I could rent all those homes for $900, but we're not gonna do it. We're not in the business of stabbing people. Everybody I have has been long-term renters, good people, you know, some of them are retired, some of them are and, my wife won't let me raise rent. So,
Mike, were there any neighbors there at the variance board that complained and didn't want you to split it?
no, and where that actually sits, Trevor, is it's on the end of High Street and it borders Walnut. So there's not a lot of homes around it. There's one behind it and there's one to the east of it. The one to the east, Dennis Kilday built a handful of years ago. And as we were discussing yesterday, I haven't had it surveyed because I won't spend money to survey it if you guys aren't going to allow me to do it. But I believe Dennis put the privacy fence is actually the property line. I believe he did it correctly. I don't process as we just did. Okay,
The contact will be Marcia, we just stop by City Hall, we'll get your paperwork, we'll get over to Marcia, we'll let her know it came here, it's got approved for the variance, and the lot size and stuff. We just gotta look at it, approve a lot, so it's sent back to the board to get approved.
awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for being here. We'll do your ordinance later.
Well, if they agree to split it, I'll do it. But if they can't, we'll go along all three.
Next.
Is that good?
No, that's a different lot, but that's for residents on the whole lot.
You want me to hand out these little
But yeah, if you don't mind, so they can see kind of your map.
We can just always add to that.
So we're going in here and passing down. Yeah. Yep. Mhm. Yeah.
There's 14 feet between this road and the property line, that's just all grass in there. And this street is 13 feet wide, it goes back in pretty far.
Okay. Tell them what you want to do, so it's not me in case I say something wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do is put a sewer line along the road that goes into the fairgrounds park from 8th Street, the two lots at the back. 608 East 8th Street is the house I sold just recently, but there's two lots behind that I'm trying to get sewer access to. I don't know if you can tell by looking at that where it's at, but
Steve,
He's right
Here,
there.
right here. Hey, Steve. Looking right past. Come here and look at this. Where's sewer around us? Water and sewer. You need water and sewer, Delbert?
yeah, maybe go.
Either one are close. Which way?
This way.
So there's nothing that goes down this way.
We have a small line in the back of the fairground for water.
There's no sewer. So you have to come down. Is this a marked street in Eldon? What is that? That's just an easement. So who owns these two? We own those two?
City owns it with at least fair board.
Okay. So we have a lease for this piece too? Okay, so it sounds like there's a road that runs down through here. This house has been sold on the bottom right. There's two lots on the top. They would like to build up on the top, but there's no water or sewer to that area. So in order to get water and sewer, there's the entrance to the fairgrounds over there that they would have to run water and sewer down through to get to those two lots.
This is upside down.
Oh, sorry. If I turn it right side up, it's the other way around.
Your directions, everybody else was looking at it like, wait a minute.
Sorry.
The two lots to the right of the fairground.
Yeah, where that road goes all the way down through to the fairground entrance, which I'm not sure, but it sounds like the city owns that, and that's part of that 99-year lease to the fairgrounds that goes through there. So it'd just be giving them an easement basically to go through that piece of property to get back to the back.
In order, the only way you can go out and service the 8th Street to the manhole down there by the cook shack, but it's very shallow now, so.
Get enough depth.
I know it's going downhill, but I don't believe you have enough fall to.
So you have to go to 8.
Yeah. 8th Street's deep, it's about 13, 14 foot deep.
And there's sewer and water right there.
Sewer and water right there. And water's on one side, sewer's right in the middle.
Which means for you, Delbert, that you have to go through a whole lot. It's gonna run a lot of pipe down through there. Or it'll be easier the other way. Thoughts? Address? Oh, back here.
Yeah.
Delbert, how'd you get there?
We'd have to come up that.
This right here.
That fairground road. I already had an address, if Randy remembers, I think this is 612.
These two here?
So it would be
address.
8th Street?
Yeah, 612 East Eighth Street, do you remember
I
that?
believe
Randy?
it was an 8th Street address. I don't remember exactly.
So that, okay, so then it becomes like a driveway down through there?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, that'd be,
I guess they've already got one off of there already.
yeah. This is the house I just sold. See, there's one here, these people have one here. You made a new one, then you made a new one there on.
Yeah, the one on the end.
Yeah.
That one, not around the, that one driveway.
Yeah, there's one here that's been there for years.
Okay, so we gotta find out about an easement to get down through there if you're gonna use that part of it as a driveway, and make sure that they're okay probably just making that a driveway off of there. Cause this is gonna be, who's gonna maintain that?
Sometimes they close that road off from the first one.
No. And I guess they could close it up here at the end, at the end of that edge.
They usually put a sign on this property here, no parking. One of the fairs.
I mean, as far as getting water and sewer there, I don't really have a problem with getting water and sewer there. I'm more worried now about the driveway, cause you're landlocked unless you use that little driveway down through there.
I mean, to me, it's no different than an alleyway, I don't see why they couldn't use it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same thing, unless we rented it to them.
Two different properties, two different houses there.
Well, there's one.
The only thing is if we rented it to the fairgrounds,
These are just like.
You rent the fairgrounds, the fairgrounds.
yeah, and I think that's, they're saying that may be part of what we did. We needed to probably find that out.
So, yeah, I was gonna say, find out the particulars there, but to me, that wouldn't operate much different.
Okay, that's what
The maintenance wouldn't be on the city, it'd
That's
be
what I'm
on,
hoping.
For 114 Green, I think it's still using an alleyway, and that seems very similar.
How
yeah,
big are those lots?
yeah, I don't really have a problem with it.
I don't, as long as it works with the fair.
Yeah,
Well, there's no.
on 8th Street.
I get the service.
Hey, Chief Vernon, do you know where a mailbox would have to go for that? Would that go down on the alley?
On
Would that
8th
go on
Street,
8th
I would
Street?
assume. I'm
Exactly.
not sure if they,
Over the house that you just sold, is there a mailbox already up in front? Where did they put a mailbox for that?
Mailbox is out on 8th Street,
It is, so they just put it next to it.
yeah.
Someone wanna make a motion?
Check over there.
Yeah, well, I make a motion as long as the fairground's okay with it, we go with it.
Yeah.
I can't do that, but okay.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Okay, let's check with the fairgrounds, make sure that they don't have a problem with it, don't see anything, but otherwise I think it sounds good. You got some digging to do.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
I get the shovel and pick ready.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, next. Anyone else? We move forward? If, yeah, nope, okay, we're gonna go forward then. Staff updates. Chief Vernon? Anything? You had a big fire week, little week over.
big fire.
Everyone safe though?
Everyone's safe, no injuries.
Good deal. Kid was not here. Steve?
Kind of give you a year update, for the year of what we've been going on. Now, a lot of these complaints I'm gonna rattle off to you is more than what I've got here, because a lot of times they call me, they call Jonathan, they call private, one of the other guys. So what we have on recorded record is 91 complaints on water, 49 on sewer, 48 on street. The total locates for the year is 961
Hang on a second. 91 for water, 49
for sewer,
for sewer.
and 48 for streets.
And these complaints are people that call in?
Call into City Hall and it's
Okay.
recorded. Now, there's more than that because they call us personally, but, so, now total locates for the year is 961. On 2024, we had 705,
I have to make sure that you said that.
and 23, we had 743. The big difference is the amount of distance of locates. Normally, it's a house, you go locate the front yard, rear yard, out. We're locating blocks at a time. Gas, fiber, major difference. I mean, we're locating entire streets. So we have 2 to 3 guys out there doing it all day long. That's all we're doing. We're going through tons and tons of marking mail. So I just want you to be aware of that. I don't have a total cost on it right now because every time we order paint, it's a different price. So, but just to continue on, flushing sewer, and maintenance on sewers, we've flushed 55 lines. So far this year, it's on average 200 to 300 feet. Right now, we have 3 bad sewer lines in Countryside. We have 1 bad line on Haynes, 1 bad line on Clark, and 1 on Burke. That means we're gonna have to dig it up and repair it. We have 2 manholes that need to be replaced. That needs to be totally dug out and replaced. So, continuing on water, we have, right now, we've had 31 new taps. It's 31 new water meters set. Water leaks, we've repaired 73. Lots of water breaks. So, and animal control, we've had 72 calls, 49 redemptions, and 13 adoptions. After hour call-outs, we've had 42. That's anytime, weekends and after hours. Street and coal patch, they have set out 60 tons of coal patch. It's $160 per ton. So that $9,600 coal patch already this year. So, and rock haul, we've hauled 1,275 tons of rock this year. That's a lot of rock. Of course, part of it was parking lot and other issues, but we've hauled a lot of rock. Overtime for just the guys for the year, that's the general laborers, is 439 and a half hours. Myself, which is salary, so don't pay me, is 169. John Feld's salary too, which is 131. Now the project's completed is airport parking lot. We got it completed. We did the airport fence. We also got the Locust and Spruce Street repaving, repaired. We had to repair 2 culverts, replace them in that project. And of course, we had the 4th of July. We put up 1,200 feet of temporary fence and took it back down. And then we had the Miller County Fair Week. We assisted with that. So that is, and then we've done the trail. We brush hog it once this year. That was it. Just enough to give them side issues. And we got a lot to go on that. That's a whole different story. And current projects is we've been assisting with the splash pad. And we did help Parks pour the concrete for the merry-go-round to get it back in the ground. And then we've been doing signs, stop signs, regular signs. They started mowing and repairing all that. And we do have more storm drains. We have one on Manor that we need to replace. We're working with them, and you need to have gas valve leaking there now. So we kind of want to coordinate with them. We don't want to be in each other's way. So hopefully Manor will have it redone. Hopefully ease some of the complaints on Manor. And then we have several other storm drains. We have one on Jim and Oak and First and Aurora. So we have several there.
How many employees do you have in each department?
Right now, we're losing employees. Right now, I have 2 in wastewater, 3 in streets, 4 in streets, 4 in water. 4 in water. 3 in wastewater. 3. Yeah, and then treatment plant guys, which that doesn't include our daily jobs. We open up the bathroom, we check the wells, we check the grinder stations, lift stations. That's just common first thing we do every morning. Go see what other problems we have.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
You open up the bathrooms at the park?
Do what?
At the park, bathrooms at the park?
Yes, we open the bathrooms at the park.
What time do you open them?
Well, we try to do it by 8 or 8:30 at the latest, depending on.
Why doesn't Darla do that?
Travis does when we can.
Yeah, I think it's always been something that they've
Yeah,
done.
Public Works has done it now for a long time.
I think it started that way so they could see if there was something going on in there. If there's a leak or something crazy when they turn it on, they know.
Parks didn't have maintenance, so
Yeah.
we do the building maintenance.
The ones that did it, but
You're welcome. That was one reason why we do it, is that way if it's repaired, we can take care of it.
Perfect, thank you.
and the police department shuts it down.
Yeah, police department shuts it down.
Make sure there's nothing going on at the end.
Of course, then we assist Randy with big fires when,
Maybe we're not that much.
yeah. We
This is great, Steve, can you do this for us every time? I don't know
I
it's
try.
paying, but let us know kind of what happens every 2 weeks, I think it helps.
Okay. It just depends, you know, we don't mean to miss meetings, but,
Yeah.
you know,
You guys have been a little busy.
yeah, last Wednesday night, most of my guys averaged 16 to 18 hours in one day. They worked till after 1 o'clock in the morning trying to keep everybody warm, so.
I think you guys are doing a fabulous job, and I'm sorry to all the employees that have to see all the bad comments on Facebook. It's ridiculous, people stand behind those places and make their comments. I know I've personally been into one argument on there about someone saying something about the city. It's
Thank you.
horrible. Do a great job, especially with the small staff that you have. I don't know how you've gotten it all done.
Well, we're doing interviews tomorrow. Again, I've gotta work. We got plenty of
What cut
meetings.
into your schedule?
Well, we're gonna find a way,
You
so.
have 2 open positions right now based on what the current budget allows, correct?
No, actually, I'm gonna end up having 5, but I haven't talked to you about the other resumes yet being turned in.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but that'll be a discussion for
Okay, we'll
tomorrow.
talk tomorrow.
I haven't got that for you.
I would just like to say, kudos to what, or agree with what Terry said, but just remember, it's very easy to be the critic and not the chef. So people who don't really understand what you all do and what it takes to do this, they don't get it. So they think they're doing some Facebook warrior stuff, and to them, it's probably a big deal. They don't see all the things it takes. It's that way for lots of places in the department, but you guys are very visible most of the time, because you're always out fixing something right in the middle of the public act. So there are a lot of people who support you and commend you. They're just not posting it on Facebook.
Thank you. Yes, Mayor, I'll try to shoot that.
Appreciate it.
Hey,
I have none.
All right, go on to new business. First one is a lot split. Anything you need to know about this lot split? Is this for storage units?
This one is. Storage units. Walmart. See, I got the flat map right here, that's exactly what we're talking about.
So it's a split off for the storage unit too, it says in here, so we can talk about it. It's- Oh, you guys are here, even better, come on up.
That works.
Okay, 100% my family, we've owned it for about 18 years of property. Request a lot split, as you're aware.
Yep, a new business,
No problem in playing on
no problem.
it, except
Any questions then?
Where's the split at? Exact down the parking lot?
Yeah. Just that you rolled it up.
Right away, it's on the foot.
Yeah. Like yours, if you read, right here. Yes, and they're gonna have to build stuff more in the front, so it's probably still behind. Like I said, they have enough clearance for everything to get through. I don't have anything all the way to the back.
Okay, so question. The road right next to where the scooters are gonna go, who's gonna be responsible for maintaining this parking?
we are,
You are?
yes, we still own the main of the property.
Any other questions? Is there a motion on the board?
I make a motion that we approve, or make a motion, to suspend the rules and that.
Put it on first read first.
41/2025 on its first reading.
Second,
Ask the clerk to read that one.
All in favor? All opposed?
I'm on my notes.
Bill number 40/2025, ordinance approving the lot split at Aurora Street as authorized by section 405.320, the municipal code of the city of Elder, Missouri.
Okay, before we go forward, anything else you gotta add? If you wanna add anything else, I think we're gonna push it through pretty quick, it sounds like.
No, you'll have a separate ownership, that presents a plan that you guys might approve.
Yep.
That's not us.
And they put them up pretty quick, so it won't take long. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Is there a motion for a second reading?
I make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance 40/2025 on its second and final
in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 40-2025, an ordinance approving the lot split at Aurora Street as authorized by section 405.320 of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett. Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Aye.
Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mary, got enough ayes and passage and approval.
Now declare bill number 40-2025 to be ordinance 40-2025. Thank you guys, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. All right, 41. 41, this is housekeeping every year that we have to do. Conflict of interest is basically nothing's changed from the last time. Anyone have questions on it? Basically, when we get those things, we have to fill out from the ethics department to make sure we're not doing anything crazy.
Once a year voted in and send them a copy.
Yep. Any thoughts, concerns?
Motion to ordinance number 41/2025 on its first reading and second read by title only.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 41-2025, an ordinance of the city of Eldon, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest, substantial interest for certain officials.
Make a motion to suspend rules of ordinance number 41/2025 on its second and final reading and second read by title only.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 41-2025, an ordinance of the city of Eldon, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain officials. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett. Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair. Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mr. Mary, had enough ayes and passage and approval.
Now declare bill number 41/2025 to be ordinance 41/2025. 42/2025, this is a different law split, right?
No, this is
Same
a variance again for Mr. Hocamp, because in our ordinance, it actually states that you cannot have two single-family addresses on one lot. We have several in town, I know he bought it that way, but this way, if there's ever in the future when he goes to sell it, if he doesn't get the lot split to go through, it won't be something that'll come up because the variance can travel with the property, so new owners won't buy something out of code.
In this particular case, he's one of the very few that had separate meters to begin with the whole entire time, so. That's rare too.
This one, the variance board did take a vote on, and they agreed we should push this one through, just so he has it to attach to his property to prevent anything in the future if someone tries to say it's out of code.
So if he doesn't get the lot split later on, he's still.
Yeah, he can still sell it as
Two
two property, well, two addresses
living
on one
areas.
property.
Probably gonna be a moot point. but-
Yes.
I make a motion to put ordinance 42/2025 on its first reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 42-2025, an ordinance approving a variance of section 400.200 miscellaneous regulations subsection B, the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri at 421 West High Street, as authorized by section 405.290 of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri.
I make a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 42/2025 on its second and final reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 42-2025, an ordinance approving a variance of section 400.200 miscellaneous regulations subsection B of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri at 421 West High Street as authorized by section 405.290 of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett. Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair. Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mr. Mary, enough ayes and passage and approval.
I declare bill number 42/2025 be ordinance 42/2025. Okay, my business. I'd like to set up a streets committee. Steve and I have talked a little bit about this. Talked to Chris a little bit about this. To go over and kind of get a streets plan on which ones are the worst ones that we need to hit first, so we can start looking going forward. So Chris, I'd like you to head that, if you're okay with that.
Yep.
Steve, we obviously need you on there. Maybe you have other suggestions.
I think Cody should be on it as well,
Okay.
as long as he will, as long as we do it.
Cody, you good with that?
Foreman.
Yep, okay. there another alderman or alderwoman that would like to be on it? Rodney wants to be on there. Someone's gonna have to take notes for us, please, whenever you get back. Notes, someone take notes for us. Steve, is are there other people that we think should be on this? Is there anyone else that might wanna be on it we didn't think of? And it's a preliminary plan, but we've got one for water already that we did before we went out for the $15 million bond that we've got capacity for. So,
I mean,
citizen?
I'm okay with anyone being on it, it's just basically suggestions where we start with
do you
streets.
have somebody that's gonna take good notes?
No, we need to.
You know where I'm going with this.
I know exactly where you're going.
My suggestion would be Richie Hess.
Okay, yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Okay. No, none of us are good at notes, but I'll try. I'll make a concerted effort.
If you can get us a list at the end, here's where we start, here's where we need to get
Are you
to.
gonna?
I mean,
talk
I
to
don't
him?
mind
Yes.
the notes, but if there's three, then
Yeah,
I
we
don't
can, it doesn't say, yeah,
When is the form?
yeah, that's a form and it's an actual.
I can get some.
All right, hold on. So
Okay.
Yeah.
who do we have on this now?
Chris, Steve, Cody, Rodney, and then you're gonna ask. That is anyone to, for 5-person committee.
And that's probably big enough, unless there's someone that really wants to be on there, someone that you guys know that really should be on there. Anyone is more than welcome to go to that committee, it doesn't matter to me, I just wanna get some sort of plan when we start. I mean, we've got, all right, I think everyone knows the water one, right? So when we went out to the bond, here are the priorities. Countryside was first, then North Oak Street was next to replace asbestos pipe there with 8-inch PVC. Mill and Maple Streets replaced 1-inch pipes with 4-inch pipes. 9th Street from Grand to Business 54 replaced 1,000 feet of iron pipe with 8-inch PVC, and then drilled the well on 10th and Grand to get bigger, better storage capacity. Something that we worked with Steve before we went out for the bond. It's still there, we're getting ready to do the first one of those, and hopefully the next one the next year, and work our way down through it. I'd love to have something like that for streets, that way we kind of know, hey, this is where we're going, this is where we've been, this is what we've got going on. And then that also opens us up for grants, if there are grants out there to know, hey, this is the area we want. It may change, but I think we don't have a plan right now, and I think it'd be good to have something. Been kind of mulling it over for a while. Chris and I have kind of talked about it a couple times, and trying to figure out the best way, and this may not be the best way, but it's kind of what I'm thinking.
I like it. Well would be a very good one, just on the water side, just the fact that if you ever wanna grow the town,
Gotta grow the wells.
the well is too small. We have the storage, we have piping there, we just need to drill in the well, we can actually utilize the booster pumps, the existing building, we just need to drill in the well.
Right.
So that would be the smartest move there.
So we've got a list of those that we started off, and that's what we pitched to the people when they voted. So if we can go down through those and bust through those as fast as we can, that'd be a good idea. But that's kind of the thing with water. Okay, the other one is, are we good with that one? Everything good there? Okay. I wanna do something with fire hydrants. Randy's given us a good list. Randy's got that list for you. It should be
Everybody
in
should
there.
have on their packet.
I'd like to get a committee together for that, to say, hey, these are the ones that we need to fix. There are that many in red, so you guys can see that need to be fixed. And then there are other suggestions down through here. Obviously, Randy, you wouldn't be on that one. Board, I need probably 2 people from the board. I would like to.
I'll set on that.
Is that your third committee, Rod?
Yeah, I got lots of time.
Do you wanna be on that one, or Brian would like to be on that one?
Okay.
Okay, you, Brian, we'll put Brian on that one. If you can't be there, one of you two can't be on it, that's just there if you look at it.
So we're only have 3, do we need
No, we need more than that.
additional?
We need a water person, yeah, there you go, show.
Jonathan?
Yeah.
I'll go on there too. What about,
Okay, Matt, Lane.
Lori?
So,
You go? Yeah, good with that.
okay, that's 6 people.
Who am I missing?
Jonathan, wants to be on it, Jonathan Jones,
Matt.
and then Matt Lane also wants to be on it.
Okay,
So if you guys can come back with a plan, these are the ones we need to hit first, so we can go out and start working on those first and get those through, get some kind of direction. We've tried to have budget meetings before, and it seems like we get caught up in the weeds, so hopefully this will help a little bit.
When we replace Rita,
Not that I know, we haven't replaced any that I know of.
We replaced the
We have
water.
$32,000 in the budget, was that a part of that budget, or was that another project that needed to be done?
We have some of the budget to buy some, we just have.
Yeah, we have a budget line of $32,000 for,
Is that in water or in, I thought we had a budget, I thought in Randy's fire plan too.
no, there was, hold on, let me double check that.
It's really tricky when you're buying these hydrants, because you gotta look at the overall, what we're going to do in the future. And when you're providing fire protection, you have to have a 6-inch line or above to actually provide fire protection. So, a lot of these fire hydrants are on 4-inch lines. So, you don't wanna go buy a 4-inch hydrant and then turn around and replace the main, and then have to turn around and buy the same hydrant again.
Wasn't that part of your plan with the new fire tax to replace some of the hydrants?
Yes, it's in the budget.
It's in Randy's budget, yeah, I have
Okay.
a copy of the budget, so we've spent $7,800 thus far this year, and then we have a budget of $32,000. Now, that's to buy the hydrants alone, correct me if I'm wrong, because all of the,
Other stuff.
everything is part of water.
Yeah.
So,
Because a lot of these, there's no companion valves.
Sure.
So you can't just go change the hydrant, you have to do what we call a wet valve, which is normally about $1,000 an inch. So you're gonna be tapping some of these smaller lines and putting a bigger hydrant on, which me and Randy's talked about, and maybe in a meeting that we're gonna have to color code them to remind them that it might be a 6-inch hydrant, but it's only gonna be a 4-inch line. So there's gonna be some work involved in this whole process. And so-
Yeah, and I think the beginning, I just wanna know which ones you want done first.
Right.
And then kind of get together and figure, okay, we can do 2 of these this year, we can do 3 of these this year, and figure out which ones they are, and then we're gonna have to use their expertise and say, this is what's there, this is what we're gonna have to do to get it, as far as for water. And then, cause I know there's at least 2 or 3 that are pretty close to each other that are out in a couple places, so, if we can get them going.
And that's why I was letting everybody know, I mean, you could go up and say, spend $2,000 on hydrant, and you got another $500 on a valve, and then you gotta do a wet tap, and that's another $4,000, so you can have $10,000 in one hydrant, just like that, before you even cut the street.
Yep.
Well, there's some fire hydrants that are on there, they're not necessarily that they're broken entirely, need replaced, they just need new pieces.
Yeah.
And now, you can replace the whole thing, but why spend the money when you can go cheaper and get the parts, just rebuild,
Yeah.
top up?
Yeah, and when you get a list of which ones we need first, that would be the next step. What's wrong with it? Is it just a quick fix, or is it a long fix?
Because some of them are obsolete, so I mean, it's just gonna be,
Yeah, and you can't get parts for some of them possibly, so.
but it just really depends on the hydrant.
So I'll task you guys with that, doing that, I don't know, what do you think, by next meeting, or give it a month? Do 1 month?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it in a month and try to come back with some sort of notes. That's gonna put us, in September, which is gonna be right before budget time, which I think is probably the perfect time to have this list before we start discussing it. If there are other areas that you guys can think of that we need to touch, I'm looking at all you guys out there, let me know, because we'll get a committee together really quick before budget time, because once we get to budget time, those numbers are crazy, and it's hard to keep everything straight, we get tired, to be honest. So, let me know kind of what you think on those. That's all I've got.
okay,
To you.
okay, I put in front of you the sales tax numbers for the reported in August. So you can take a look at that. I wish that we got those just a little bit early so they could go out in your board packet, so I didn't have to wait till the meeting to give you updated numbers, but I like to give you full information. So, over the year, we are $333,984 over our plan, so that's good. That means that our sales taxes are higher than what we paid for. And we're $682,000 over last year at this time. We are collecting the fire tax, which has a big portion of, a lot to do with that as well. One of the things that I did on this report that I haven't done in the past is I broke down each area, of what those, how those numbers are broken down. So in the general fund, we had $100,009. Capital outlay received $50,004. Transportation, which is streets, received $38,246. Recreation received $37,503. The community center, there's 2 separate recreation taxes. Community center gets $12,501. The use tax, which is divided out, as you all know, between the public safety departments, got $46,468. the marijuana tax, which is the same, we received $6,724, and the fire tax received $47,515. So, as long as you guys want to see those numbers, I will start providing those individually to you each month, that way you can see, compare what we're doing for each of those departments.
Question, marijuana tax.
Yes.
There was a ruling where you can't stack it anymore. Are you gonna continue to get that, do you know?
I have not heard, I have not gotten any confirmation on how that's gonna work yet. I know that it's definitely something that's been talked about, I don't know that a final decision has been made. Okay, next thing, does anyone have any questions on the snapshot package that I sent you?
Do we have a total $1 million yet, cost-wise?
No, we're still getting bills on that. We are still getting bills on that. As you can see, we got the final bills for the parking lot. We were over significantly in that. I warned you a lot that we were gonna be over on that just because of all of the extra stuff that was found, underneath the ground on that one. So that is done. The pavilion's going to be a little over, but it's not gonna be crazy over. So that's good. So no questions on that? Okay, next thing I wanted to talk about, and this is going to go back to the email that I sent everyone on Friday. We did receive a $55,000 donation to the cemetery. I gave you a few options on what we could do that on that. And it doesn't have to be decided right at this very second, but I encouraged you all to go out and drive out by the cemetery to see what your thoughts were on what needs to be done. I'm of the opinion that the fence, the white fence that goes along the Eldenburg
North side.
needs to be something major. I would like to maybe see, Steve's not in here right now, but maybe a sucker rod fence, like the one that we did at Air Park to go there. It looks nice, it's a lot easier to maintain. People obviously just drive right through those gates because you can see that they're all broken off, and so that's something that I would like to see us do with that fund. So I don't think that I would be interested in doing that until next year's budget, but we do have that break-even number that we have in the budget each year from the general fund to help fund the cemetery for the mowing and everything like that. The mowing is the biggest cost for the cemetery each year. We just don't come anywhere close to bringing in revenue to make up for that. And so, if you all want to continue to go ahead and move that money over from the general fund, we can do that, and then use that other money for repairs. Or we can not, we can just move that, keep that money that we donated into the cemetery fund, not move the money from the general fund and use it for, of course, it'd have to be in a good budget, but use it for other areas of need.
Did they ask for it to go anywhere?
They did not, they just wanted it to be donated to the cemetery.
I think we should use it for the repairs that we made, because we're not gonna have the money to do it
I
again.
do too, I almost think we had a plaque out there that said that they did it.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, and the name, it was the estate of Andy and Mary Bassone. I didn't know that name either, so does any, Randy, you always know people. You don't know the name either.
Well, if you go out there, there is a flagpole down. We know about it, we just haven't got it picked up yet. So the wind put down flag.
I agree with Terry, because we aren't gonna have the money, and I'm sorry, their donations probably wanted to mean something. I think that would mean something if you kind of were resting.
If you were in here, what are your thoughts on doing a second road fence out there on Eldon Road, like what we did at the airport?
Get rid of the white fence.
Mhm.
I mean, it would be a lot more permanent and it won't be falling apart. I would suggest yes. I mean,
So light pole have something off the bottom of it right now as far as a plaque, like we donated it?
do what?
Does the light pole have a plaque or something underneath it as far as who donated it?
None of them at this time, no.
So we could do that too.
All the ones we got down through there, the Flower Ladies.
The Garden Club.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe we don't wanna do that. The garden club donated.
We'll talk about it, like I said, it'll go in the 2026 budget, I think that'll be the best way to do that, but,
But you could go plaque on the fence.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
okay,
Needs recognition.
perfect, okay. Next thing, just following up from the last meeting about the automatic lights on the basketball courts. I sent you some information about what's already in our ordinance. To me, it reads pretty clearly that those lights can stay on until 11 o'clock as long as people are using it for their intended purpose. I was told that there was a different interpretation, but the way that I read it is pretty clear. the lights do go off at 10 o'clock. I received a phone call at 10 o'clock one night asking why the lights just went out on a bunch of kids. So they were there playing pickleball, so I think it was great that there was a good group of high schoolers there, and then when the lights went out, they left, and I'm sure they all just went straight home. Okay, last thing I wanted to go over with you all was meeting with the state parks and the Federal Highway Administration regarding the Rock Island Trail. So the Federal Highway Administration is not going to allow us to do what we originally were planning to be able to do, that the Missouri Parks arranged and spent a lot of time and effort on being able to do, and that has to do with the where the crosswalk goes through. We were going to dogleg that up to the north, so the trail would not go directly through the Eldon Drive-In parking lot. So there are some other issues with the trail and the funding and things like that, but that's the major one. And so when we were talking in this meeting, and the recommendation of Missouri Parks is that if we did self-fund that small portion, we could go ahead and do that as what was originally planned. And so.
That's what you're saying. So
Yes.
maybe that it wouldn't allow us to do it. They will allow us to do it, but not on the grant.
Yes.
The grant that we received, we need to do something with, because they won't allow us to make that dog leg with the grant the way we have it now. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so if we self-funded the portion from the west side of the Eldon Drive-In property to Mill Street, there are a lot of things that we would be able to change about the trail that were in the original grant. In the original grant, there was going to be concrete. The trail was going to be concrete essentially from the depot to Business 54. If we self-fund that portion, then we can just do the regular trail bed, Katy Mix, and not have to do the concrete, which will save us a lot of money. We can go ahead and dogleg that portion of the trail so we don't interfere with the parking lot for the Eldon Drive-In. We do have to move the crosswalk, so that is an added expense. But there's just, we don't have to concrete the parking lot at the depot anymore. So there's just a lot of things that we would be able to do that we don't have to do it the way the original grant was submitted. So what I'm asking the board to consider is to reject the grant, and I realize that would be rejecting a grant of $250,000. My personal opinion is that the out-of-pocket funds that we would have to have with that would be reduced by self-funding that small portion. Missouri Parks has highly recommended that we go ahead and apply for future grants for the remainder of phase 1 as well as phase 2. Missouri Parks wants us to get this accomplished. They were disappointed in the meeting with Federal Highways, as I was, and so this is not something that they have not told us that, we shouldn't do this. This is at their recommendation, and so I'm asking a motion to reject the bid and to move forward with self-funding the portion from the west side of the drive-in property to Mill Street.
Questions, thoughts, concerns?
How much are you thinking self-funding is going to be?
That is a great question.
I know.
I haven't gotten that far yet. We were going to have 323,000 was our total budget for the trail. 250,000 of that was grant money. But we did have some local matches in the amount of $29,000. And so that's $44,000 that we have in our recreation budget to go towards that. Now, how far is that 44,000 gonna go? That's something that Steve and I are gonna have to put our heads together and figure out.
So my thought, because I've been thinking about this a lot, called Parks a couple times to talk to them. I don't think we can do the federal grant anyway, because we would have to go right through the middle of someone's parking lot that State Parks has already made a deal with to do something different. So I think that's kind of a moot point. I think we're gonna have to reject the grant, and build as much trail as we can right now, and then go back and try to get a grant again and do the rest of it.
So you think we have to reject it anyways?
I do. I don't know how we can't accomplish what we set out with the grant regardless, because we can't make that dog leg. I mean, I guess we could go right through the middle of their parking lot, but State Parks has already made a deal.
Yeah.
don't know that that's smart for us to do.
Will they even allow us to rent the parking lot?
I mean, technically, they don't have a say if, and it wouldn't be us pushing it, it'd be the federal government saying this is how you have to do it, right through the middle. But it's really tricky because State Parks actually owns it now. I mean, it's a tricky beast. There are a lot of, it's been turned over to State Parks. But the grant is through the federal.
Federal
side.
Highways is, their sticklers on the original trail bed remaining
So it can be
where
turned back
it is.
into a
And
railroad.
so that's why, if they're going to fund it, it's gotta stay that way. If we fund it, or even if Missouri Parks funded it, we could change that.
That's why it's a sticky beast.
Yeah.
So here are my thoughts, whether we reject it or not. Reading the notes from that meeting, there are lots of concerns. We have done things, we have deadlines that are absolutely impossible to meet. There is no way we can do that, self-funding or not. That is troublesome to me because one of the first things they look at when you apply for grants is your track record and ourselves.
So, I don't know how to say this without saying it.
We would be applying for TAP grants in the future likely, not RTP grants, and that would be.
That's good, you don't have to say anything else. Okay. Then I don't have a problem with it.
I do think that October 31st deadline, and I know it's gonna make you cringe, Steve. I really think that we should build the portion that we can before the October 31st deadline. We owe it to the citizens to get something moving. It has been a long time, not always our fault, but some of it has been our fault. I think we need to get something done. I know, Steve, I'm sorry.
You get pulled.
I don't know.
His face is getting red.
And it may be something we have to contract somebody. I don't know.
I'm just saying, I'm one guy from Parkside.
I know.
And then I got to borrow everybody around here to just get what I can.
And it may be something we have to contract for. But if we don't, you're always gonna be in that situation. I mean, there's never gonna be a situation, you're one guy.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, like I said earlier, we have to have the public works side clean the bathrooms because I'm too busy fixing everything the public's broke, so.
I get it, and it may be time to contract. If we can't get to it, maybe we've gotta do it a different way. I'm with you, I understand, we overwork you guys like crazy. I mean, I've seen you guys in holes up to your neck almost and stuff. There are times when you guys are out there all over the place. But we've also promised the citizens that we do it, and somehow we gotta get some of this stuff done, whether it's contracting with somebody else or whatever we've gotta do.
Leak just went up.
What's that?
Leak just went up.
Leak just went up?
Leak count.
Leak.
Oh, leak just went up?
Yeah.
There you go, found another one.
I was accidental bore through your private line. So the guys are going for a try, help them out.
So, thoughts on rejecting the grant first, that's the first piece of it. I don't think so, somebody just needs to make a motion to reject it. And allow Maggie and I to sign a letter to federal government saying that we're gonna reject it. Your second?
Yes.
All in favor? All opposed?
I really do honestly think this is going to end up saving us money in the long run. I 100% believe that, because I don't think that we were going to be able to accomplish what the grant for $300,000. I just don't think that there's any way that was gonna happen. And so, I really 100% believe that this is going to end up saving us a significant amount of money in the long run.
I don't disagree with that, but let's just do a case scenario, we don't get any grants.
So my thought was already to self-fund with local match and our recreation budget, for phase 2, just to save some time and,
Yeah, I hope you guys heard that, because I think that's important, that those matching grants, that we'll put that towards phase 2 whenever we get there. Because we told those people that we were gonna try to get a matching grant with it, and we did.
I just think, personally, I do think we have to reject it. And I think we need to be on top of it and not be penalized for inactivity and not do it. And I understand that some of that's not our,
Right.
circumstances are what they are. But if we're gonna take it on, then we need to do some solid timelines and make sure that we either get them some help or contract. I mean, I think we all need to be committed to that. It can't just be, we're gonna reject it and do it. We need to really do it.
cause that's an easier trip. That's the one that I wanted to look at self-funding, because the process is going to be much simpler, less costly. And then that gives us time to apply for a grant for what would be phase 3, the west side of the drive-in to the feed store, which is going to be the most costly because there's the most terrain changes, there's drainage issues, there's lots of stuff, there's, crosswalks that have to be put in and things like that.
And just so you guys remember, we were self-funding a lot of this already with our own people with work. We were going to put a ton of labor into it, and we don't have the people to do what we were doing. We're gonna pour concrete and all that other stuff.
Only the concrete was allowed to be bid out of, remember?
Yeah, I think there was.
So everything had to be, per the grant, everything had to be completed by our,
Employees, all but the concrete, and that was a lot to put on all the guys. And with everything else anyway.
I think that's all.
I would just like to say to Andy, I do appreciate the emails and the heads up so that people can think about it a minute. So thank you for.
All right, one more time. I've got me, Steve, Cody, Rodney, Richie. For that, streets.
Yep.
You got it.
Yes.
Can I ask a question on that? Are we gonna have anybody that knows anything about asphalt on that committee?
You wanna be on there?
Not really, but,
I'd love to have you.
I think it'd be really smart.
Will you be on there, please, Justin?
Yeah, would you? Sure. I think it's important that you can look at it and tell us, hey, this is something that really needs to be replaced, or this is just a.
I can drive you all around town, show you all kinds of places.
Excellent.
Yep, I'd love it.
You're hired.
Good, I'm glad you said
I'll
that.
take the
I was hoping you would. Yeah, I'll go with you. Yep. All right, anything else?
It's not as important, but I wanted to circle back around to the basketball tennis court thing. So the city ordinance says parks close at 30 minutes after sunset to 30 minutes prior to sunrise is when they open. So us as a police department, whoever's at the park, unless they're at the pool for swimming lessons or something, we're told to kick them out because they're not supposed to be there. It doesn't say anything about if you're using the tennis court.
So if you look at section 225.075, there's an A, B, and C. C says that lighted sports fields and courts, including basketball, baseball, soccer, and tennis, may be in use until 11 p.m. provided they are used for their intended purpose.
Okay. So we'll have to change that to police department, because anytime after dark, if anybody's out there, we kick them out.
Yeah, the lights are on until 10 o'clock right now. Now, as it starts getting darker earlier, we might, and colder, we'll reduce that down. Usually 9 o'clock is during the, fall and spring hours, and winter is when we shut those down. But during the summertime, when it's hot and it stays light later, we leave those on until 10 o'clock. So, but we can leave them on until 11, we just choose to turn them off at 10. But the baseball fields, Apperson, those lights they go off automatically at 11 o'clock. We had to postpone the end of a baseball game this year because the lights, it went on extra innings, the lights shut down at 11 o'clock and we couldn't do anything about it, so they had to come back and finish their game another night.
Everything's on a dial timer. Everything around the parks and stuff are all on a dial timer. I've told, baseball, 11 o'clock, we've never had a problem. Just one of those nights that I've had extra games.
Yeah.
But I can adjust them as I go if I get told to, but 11 o'clock for baseball seems, for most kids that are that age, seems like they need to go home. Sleep.
If nothing else, ask for a motion to go into closed session.
Second.
For legal issues as authorized by section 610.021.
Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weavery.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett. Alderman Walker. Alderman Fair. Alderman Benson.
Some way of driving the post.
You guys need to-
Everybody needs to cut through there. Needs to cut through there.
Tickled me.
I know.
That's this is gonna be a big one.
I got that. Water leak in the
I mean, it's not much help for